Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass is what I'll be reviewing today. Now, I'll start by saying that for someone who grew up with the old Game Boy, there's an awful lot of wrist work involved. Next, I'll say that Link must have enough bloody magic crystals now to power frickin' Belgium. Now, the game starts with... You don't really need me to tell you how the game starts, do you? Nobody could possibly not know how a Legend of Zelda game starts. Well, in case you've been living under a rock for the previous 10 years, I'll tell you. The game starts with Princess Zelda being kidnapped by a large shadowy monster without a normal number of eyes. Except for some reason she's a pirate. Link then gets very badly beaten up and thrown away Team Rocket style. And because Link seems to have once again left all his magical tools on the bus, he just has to hope he wakes up somewhere with a helpful fairy, an old guy who just so happens to have a sword lying around, and directions to the nearest evil dungeon. Now later in the game, I met the Gorons. Now I love Gorons, especially how social they are, and in every game you meet them they'll set you a little test you have to pass in order to get into their brotherhood. In Oracle of Seasons I had to do a little dancing minigame. In Ocarina of Time I had to deal with the local fire-breathing monster. But in Phantom Hourglass it was quite literally a test, on the Goron population of the island no less. I mean, how was I supposed to know how many Gorons there were on the island? Do you think I was counting? After the test I was awarded a large sum of money, which made me quite happy, until the Goron Elder then charged me an equal amount of money as an induction fee. Did I mention this about the Gorons? They're bloody cheapskates. Oh, speaking of Ocarina of Time, I'm glad to see that damn owl's finally got the message. I mean, seriously, if I wanted someone to babble at me incoherently, I'd go back to school and study GCSE history. Next up, we have the local dungeon of evil ownage. Now, as far as local dungeons of evil onages go, the one in Phantom Hourglass is deeper, darker, and more monster-infested than any other one I've ever seen. At one point, I had to draw the Triforce on the door in order to make it open, but the door was just not satisfied. I tried again and again, and it was just never satisfied. I kept trying, you get the idea. Long story short, I got through the door in the end, but it was really frustrating. Now we have the Phantoms. The Phantoms are large, indestructible monsters that patrol the local dungeon of evil ownage. And while it was fun sparring with them, knowing I couldn't possibly win, I did feel a bit ripped off that, despite their title of indestructible, there are a number of imaginative ways to disable them, including pushing a large boulder on top of them, opening a trap door underneath them, and stabbing them in the back with the ultimate sword of awesomeness. Like most Legend of Zelda games, Link will make a pretty half-hearted attempt at rescuing Zelda halfway through, and of course being short on a few magic crystals and a Master Sword, Link will always get beaten. On this game, the attempt takes place on a big, creepy, abandoned ship on which I met 4 damsels in distress. And I'm sorry, but it was so obvious that they were monsters. They may as well have been standing around a cauldron cackling when I walked over. They may as well have been eating my brains while I was rescuing them. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that they may as well have attacked me first, and then asked me to rescue them. So after the shocking revelation of their true forms, I had to battle them by deflecting the energy balls they throw at me with my sword. It was a battle quite unlike anything you've ever seen before in a Zelda game. Oh yeah, it's completely different from that. Nothing at all like that. And I'm aware that's a clip from Wii Tennis, but it's nothing like that either. Finally, we have the storyline. Now, choosing to ignore the infamous Legend of Zelda cliched storyline, the storyline was actually pretty original. There was the selfish, greedy character who turns good in the end. There's the old man with the sword lying around who, oh my god, is actually a great god of the sea. And a tribe of weird-looking penguin things among whom you have to identify the imposter. Oh, and here's a thought. Has it ever occurred to anyone to wonder where the hell Link actually keeps all that crap he carries around? I mean, he doesn't have a backpack and he quite clearly wears a tunic, which stereotypically don't have pockets. Finally, there's the all-important reviewing of the game. Oh god, I just can't be bothered. So instead, here's a picture of me dancing with a Pikachu. Hey! Now, did anyone else notice that a big shadowy whale thing looked suspiciously like the windfish?